In the headlines, PDP presidential candidate pledges to address concerns of Abuja indigenous inhabitants if elected. Chief of Army Staff tells soldiers to prepare for duty during 2023 elections. Police repel terrorist attacks, arrest 10 suspects in Zamfara states. And lastly, Morocco edges Portugal from the World Cup. Thank you for joining us, and now the news in detail. Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has pledged to address issues affecting indigenous residents of the Federal Capital Territory if elected as president in 2023. Atiku Abubakar, who spoke during his party's presidential campaign rally, which held at the Eagle Square in Abuja, says he will initiate a constitutional review aimed at addressing challenges in the FCT as well as other sectors such as education, security and business.
We will support that review to make sure your aspirations are protected or are guaranteed in our new constitution. In the process of restructuring, we shall give you all what you are demanding. It is nothing new that cannot be done. Every part of this country will be given a sense of belonging. No part will be sidelined, no part will be marginalized. We have pledged to restore security. It is very, very essential that we give everybody a peace. A farmer, peace to go to the farm. A trader, peace to ply the runway, the highway, go and sell his goods. Peace for everybody. Today, we have the highest number of out-of-school children. We will make sure that these children go back to school. Not only that, we will make sure our universities are reopened and they remain open, lie forever and ever.
A wife of the APC presidential candidate, Oluremi Tinubu, has promised to support girl-child education, create jobs and empower women for greater productivity. She disclosed this while flagging off a rally at the Presidential Women Campaign team at El Kanami Sports Center in Maiduguri. She and other women leaders of the party enjoined party faithful to vote for Tinubu and Kashim ticket. And Senator Oluremi Tinubu said if the APC retains power, issues around girl-child education, youth employment and empowerment for women in the Northeast would be addressed.
I assure you and promise you that we will be there. I'm not a businesswoman, but when it comes to charity work, you can really count on me. And at the same time, Ajia Dana Shetima, she's into a lot of charity work. So we can assure the youth that youth and employment will be something that will be at the front burner of the Tinubu Shetima administration.
They have given our own Northeast the vice presidential candidate. In fact, from our own dear Borno. When Kashim Shettima was a governor, he brought progress and development. With his support, he handed over to the present governor. So therefore, we should show our gratitude by voting our own into power to continue these giant strides.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has tasked newly recruited soldiers to brace up for the 2023 general elections, as they will be fully utilized to enhance security of the nation's electoral process. He disclosed this at the passing out parade of the 83 regular recruit intake held at Chindit Barak Cantonment in Zaria. Lieutenant General Yahya said the 6,226 recruited soldiers will be posted to various theater of operations to tame persistent insecurity bedeviling some parts of the country, while others will participate in the 2023 general elections. The Chief of Army Staff, however, tasked the passing out recruits to remain apolitical in their dealings as the 2023 elections approaches. He therefore urged the new soldiers to maintain high standard of discipline, professionalism and code of ethics while remaining good ambassadors of DEPO, Nigerian Army and the Armed Forces of Nigeria. And the police in Zamfara State has said tactical operatives repelled terrorist attacks, arrested 10 suspected terrorists and recovered 2 AK-47 rifles. According to the police, they also recovered 2 magazines, 104 rounds of live ammunition and large quantity of dry leaves suspected to be Indian hemp. The Zamfara State Police Public Relations Officer Muhammad Shehu said its tactical operatives fought terrorist attack in Zurmi and Shinkafi local government areas of Zamfara State, northwest Nigeria, after engaging them in a gun drill that lasted for hours. The report.
The Zamfara State Police Public Relations Officer Muhammad Shehu said its tactical operatives foiled terrorist attacks in Zurmi and Shinkafi local government areas of Zamfara State after engaging them in a gun drill that lasted for hours. Shehu said the suspected terrorists were forced to retreat into the forest with possible gunshot wounds, while they recovered 2 AK-47 rifles and 104 rounds of live ammunition from the scene. According to him, 2 suspected suppliers of hard drugs to the terrorists identified as Murtala Dahiru from Galadi village in Shinkafi local government area and Sani Mohammed of Talata Mafara local government area, all of Zamfara State, were also arrested. The suspects were arrested in an 18-seater Toyota vehicle conveying a large quantity of dry leaf, suspected to be Indian hemp, from Lagos to be delivered to Kaura Namoda in Zamfara State. The suspect, in the course of interrogation, confessed that the consignment was meant for the terrorists operating in a forest under Shinkafi local government area in the state.
Police operatives, while on confidence building patrol, received an intelligence report that these suspects were in possession of dried leaf suspected to be Indian hemp, and it was a large quantity.
The police tactical operatives also arrested 2 suspects for partnering with terrorists to impose levies on Kwaria Tugune and Yamboki villages in Maru and Zurmi local government areas of Zamfara State.
Yesterday, the suspect were on their way to Kaura Namoda from Lagos, where the consignment was to be delivered to bandits operating also in Shinkafi and Kaura Namoda axis. They were intercepted in an 18-seater bus, and the suspects were apprehended. And large quantity of dried leaf suspected to be Indian hemp was recovered in their possession.
The command said all the suspects will be charged to court for prosecution.
And in a disturbing development, about 4 persons have been reportedly killed in an early morning shooting on Saturday by some gunmen near the New Market, Enugu. Already 2 persons have been confirmed dead in the attack by hoodlums, enforcing Simon Ekpa's 5-day sit-at-home order. A viral video shows 2 yet to be identified victims lying lifeless in front of Enugu University Teaching Hospital, Park Lane. There were heavy shootings in Enugu early on Saturday morning as hoodlums enforcing the sit-at-home attacked the New Market area of Enugu's capital city. Eyewitness accounts say that the gunmen, numbering over 10, stormed the area as early as 6 a.m. and started shooting to scare people away. A police van was also set ablaze in front of the Colliery Hospital at New Market, while 2 people were shot dead during the invasion. Still on security, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps says its operatives have arrested 6 persons allegedly involved in currency racketeering in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. The Rivers State NSCDC Commandant Michael Oga disclosed this while parading the suspects and seized the money of seized some of money before newsmen in Port Harcourt. Take a look at the report.
Commandant Oga said the clampdown on the Naira vendors is hinged on the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, Sections 20 and 21, which makes it punishable for anyone or a group of people to hawk, sell, or trade in naira notes without authorization.
We're apprehending 6 suspects, currency racketeering. And activities contravene Section 20 and 21 of CBN Acts by selling naira to naira. You know, if you go to a bank, you don't get mint. So these people now go to a bank, they get mint, they come out and sell those mints.
Oga, while analyzing other punishable offences under the CBN Act, also said the command and other security agencies would continue to clamp down on perpetrators of the offence and make them face the law. He disclosed that while the point of sale operation is legal, it was against the law for operators to use it as a cover to perpetrate illegality.
It is wrong to buy and sell the naira. It is wrong to spray naira during wedding ceremonies, birthday ceremonies, and any other ceremony. It's also wrong to write on the naira.
Some of the suspects said they were not aware that selling of naira is prohibited.
I came out to buy water, and I now saw people rushing up and down. I said, what is going on? What is going on? Before you know, one fat woman that I've collected her name from our colleagues just dropped back. And I said, who dropped this bag? Before you know, one policeman just pointed gun to me that, oh yeah, pick your gun, pick the bag. Is it my bag? He said, this one, if you don't respect yourself, I will beat you. Other people came to join, I will beat you, and they forced me inside their motor.
So I don't know that using normal naira to do POS is against the law. Because where I live, where I stayed and do my business, they sell money.
No, I just started last month. Now I started, so I never hear it.
Commandant Oga reaffirmed its commitment to ridding Rivers State of illegal oil bunkering and ensuring safety of critical national assets from economic saboteurs.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at bicycle sellers blaming high custom exchange rate. Details of the story and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the Trust TV News Update, and a look at our top stories again. We told you earlier that the PDP presidential candidate pledges to address concerns of Abuja indigenous inhabitants if elected. And Chief of Army Staff tells soldiers to prepare for duty during 2023 elections. Moving on to other news, freedom of speech allows Nigerians to freely express feelings on issues affecting governance, politics, economy, and the like. However, many believe that despite the provision of the Constitution that guaranteed freedom of expression of opinions, Nigeria have no absolute freedom to express themselves concerning governance issues in the country. In this report, respondents call for stifle penalty for those who hide on the freedom of expression to defame other people. Take a look.
The digital platforms avail people the opportunity to interact with one another, making communication easy. People now express themselves more on social media platforms where they discuss politics, economy, and other social issues in the country. However, some people opine this freedom to express feeling is not absolute and therefore cannot be exercised with reckless abandon.
By freedom of speech, it simply means that one is at liberty to say what he wants to say. He's free to say it. But the question here remains is, do we have that liberty? Is there anything like liberty of speech? Can someone just come out just like that to talk whatever he wants to say?
We find it difficult here to find our liberty or freedom of speech, maybe by writing content or by expressing with your voice or by video, which we have a lot of platforms which utilize or materialize that now. So we don't have freedom of speech, we only have it on paper as stated in the Constitution.
They said in most cases, even the citizens violate their freedom of expression.
A lot of youth now engage in social media, which they feel is a platform that gives them the hope and the opportunity to express every bit of their feelings.
Because you know, in digital world now, you can sit there at the comfort of your in your room and say whatever you want to say and post whatever you want to say. Like Iran, even here in Africa, like Malawi, you don't just post anything or say anything. You will be sanctioned. So even in Nigeria here, where we have some liberty to talk, to say whatever we want to say, but if you cross the boundary, you will be sanctioned. If you cross the boundary, when you accuse somebody of theft, whereas you don't have evidence, he has not told somebody. When you defame somebody and the rest, the security should arrest you. Why shouldn't they arrest you? That's why I say we should be guided. We should know what we want to say.
A lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Oladipo Tolani, said freedom of speech must be exercised within the confines of the law to avoid damaging other people.
A duty to exercise the right in a manner to ensure that the society is not brought down. When I say brought down, you don't exercise your freedom of speech in such a way that it will inflame passion and destroy the society. You don't exercise your right to destroy the name of the individuals, of individuals. You don't exercise the right in order to ridicule the nation and the court system. In fact, when you look at the proviso to the Constitution, to that section 39, there are reasonable bases. The law says there is nothing that invalidates a law which imposes restriction.
Tolani said freedom of speech is not a guarantee to violate rights of others or ridicule the government.
And the law for criminal defamation does not say unless there is a warrant of arrest before you can be arrested. If I destroy you or deliberately set you on a path of destruction in the society, or ridicule you, or ridicule the nation, or ridicule the judiciary, then we should be arrested as a preventive measure in order to ensure that we do not have problem in the society.
Despite rights given by the Constitution to the citizens to express themselves, exercising such right comes with responsibility. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Bicycle is considered the cheapest means of movement because it does not require fuel to move. But in recent times, there have been a hike in its price in Nigeria, particularly in Abuja, making it outrage for many. In this report, Noah Samson gets to look at the reason behind the hike in price and why customers still go for them despite the price.
Bicycle is also called two-wheeled steerable machine that is paddled by its rider's feet. German inventor Karl van Dries is credited with developing the first bicycle. His machine, known as the Swift Walker, hit the road in 1817. The importance of bicycle cannot be overemphasized. It can be used as a form of transportation and also for exercise. But in Abuja, the price of bicycle can go as high as 100,000, and clearly this is beyond the reach of many people.
People tend to start using bicycles to ease the movement. Aside from that, there's a lot of people also that are using bicycles for exercise, at least especially for the adults. When they get to the hospital, they ask them to do exercising. The increase in the price of bicycles, although not all the bicycles are quite expensive, there are some that are still on the average. Although, you know, the issue of exchange rate is part of what is causing it.
But despite its increase in price, some customers still deem it fit to still go get them for their own different reasons.
Bicycles, number one, they are fun. They are a good source of exercise. And to me, riding a bicycle is a skill. For the few scarce states, I think the bike is the best subsidy for it. Like, you don't have fuel, you can ride on your bike to wherever you're going. Even abroad, people ride bike all the time. Now that everywhere is fuel scarcity, you don't want to go and waste your time 10 hours on the queue. Sometimes you have to be very careful but it's safe when you know where you're going to. Don't ride it too far. Don't go to the unsafe routes. Always go to the safe routes because of us, the security condition, of course. You have to be security conscious.
Basically, it's not because of the fuel issue. I think it's because of exercise for adults. Key, these days so many people are health conscious now, and then they realize that biking is a very good activity to keep fit, to lose weight, to check general body, to maintain general body systems against any kind of high sugar levels, blood pressures. So it's not about the fuel hikes.
Biking isn't just good for physical health, it is good for mental health as well. Plus, cycling is the most suitable mode of transportation for short and medium trip distances in urban cities. The question, however, is it safe to ride bike in Abuja, where chaotic vehicular traffic is a common feature? Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And for journalists breaking boundaries, so Trust TV's Abdulaziz has won the television category of the 17th Wole Soyinka Award for investigative reporting. His documentary Banditry, The Inside Story, beat 20 other finalists to emerge winner. Another Trust TV's documentary on maternal race in Nigeria, anchored by Zainab Bala, comes third with commendation from the organizers. Here's the report.
Abdulaziz is a multiple award-winning journalist who won the Wole Soyinka Award for Investigative Journalist of the Year, as well as Investigative Reporter of the Year Online Award in 2018 for exposing the National Youth Service Corps Scheme exemption certificate forgery of Kemi Adeosun, former Minister of Finance. His documentary highlights the devastating impact of the ravaging banditry on the people in rural areas and how authorities fail to address the security challenges in the country. Over 200 nominations were received for the award, and 20 made the final list, with 2 documentaries from Trust TV making the first and third positions.
It's really exciting. It's really exciting and very rewarding, especially because of the labor, the effort, and the risks one has taken to undergo to do this story. And I feel really happy. And I think this is a wake-up call, not only to me, but also to all my colleagues. And I think it's a big congratulations to all my, all the people who also helped or supported this story, CDD, Trust TV, and all that.
In other categories, Juliana Francis of the New Telegraph won the print category, Babatunde Okunla won the radio category, Deji Lambo from the Punch newspaper won the photo category, and Victor Ashowata from the Wheel newspaper won the editorial cartoonist category. Taiwo Hassan of Premium Times won the online category, as well as overall winner of the Wole Soyinka Investigative Reporter of the Year. Zainab Bala and Hassan expressed satisfaction about their winning entries.
Well, I'm super excited. I'm super excited right now because it's really an honor to actually be commended for my work, because I know what I went through to actually do that piece. And so this awards like this are very important because it tells you as a journalist that what you're doing is important, and it also helps journalists to get to do more for their communities.
It's a testimony to highest level of professionalism, highest level of journalistic excellence. So you have to be highly professional, highly ethical, truth, all these journalistic ethics have to be your guiding principles.
The Executive Director, Wole Soyinka Center of Investigative Journalism, Motunrayo Alaka, encouraged media houses to have a dedicated desk for investigation, while tasking the government to take action on the wrongdoings exposed by journalists.
We know that the impact also is that the stories that were covered will be revisited, and sometimes more action is taken by the authorities on perpetrators of crime or correcting our system.
The journalists who made the list for the awards have, in the course of their duties, shown uncommon innovation and profundity, ethical journalistic courage, as we saw this evening from Anas, individual creativity, and public benefit in their reports on clandestine activities, public and corporate corruption, human rights violation, and or failure of regulatory agencies.
Trust TV has since its debut on the Nigerian broadcasting scene in 2021 been producing series of documentaries about contemporary national issues.
And away from Nigeria, President Joe Biden will next week announce U.S. support for the African Union's admission to the G20 group of world's largest economies as a permanent member, a White House official said on Friday. Biden will make the announcement during the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington next week, when he will meet the presidents of African countries, White House advisor Joe Devermont said. Devermont said that the move, first reported by the Washington Post, comes after a request from African Union Chair and Senegalese President Macky Sall and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. South Africa is the only G20 member from Africa. The AU is made up of 55 member states, and the United States released a new strategy document for sub-Saharan Africa in August, stressing that the region's importance and the threat posed by China and Russia, and vowing to extend defense cooperation with like-minded African countries. And now to sports, a leading American sports reporter who last month had a run-in with Qatar's World Cup organizers over a rainbow LGBTQ shirt on Friday died while covering a tense quarterfinal match, his family has said. And Grant Well, 48, helped build soccer's popularity in the United States through his vivid reporting for Sports Illustrated, CBS Sports, and other media, while collapsing the Press Tribune during Friday's Argentina-Netherlands game. The Wall Street Journal said he suffered a suspected heart attack, and U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Prince in a tweet said the U.S. is deeply saddened by the death of the Grant Well. And to the big one, Morocco became the first African nation to reach the World Cup semi-finals as Yusuf El Nasri first half goal sealed a tense 1-0 victory over Portugal on Saturday at Al Sumama Stadium. The Atlas Lion, also the first Arab team to make the last four, added Portugal to their list of European squads with a resolute second half performance. Cristiano Ronaldo has likely played his last World Cup match after making an intellectual appearance as a second-half substitute, failing to score his first knockout phase goal at the tournament. And that wraps us the news update at this hour. For more, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across all our social media platforms. On behalf of the news crew, I am Mardia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.